Welcome to Sacred Space Yoga with Carol Ann. And the last video that I uploaded dealt with osteoporosis with tips and tricks. So today we're going to kind of put those things in action. I'm going to go through a class as if you were in a gym or in your yoga studio, and I really recommend that you let your yoga teacher know, if that's a trusted relationship, that you have osteo so he or she can be watching. But in a regular class, you don't want to announce that so much. I want to teach you how to modify yourself in a regular class. So we'll go through some sun salutations modified for osteoporosis. Remember that our tips and tricks for osteo is keeping the chest lifted, not doing lots of rounding over postures, and also to not going into deep twists. So we don't want to go into a very deep twist, but we want to kind of modify our twists as we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll start at the top of our mat and pick up the toes. Get the feet about hip-width apart. Drop the toes back down to the earth. Get up nice and tall. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. Hands are going to open up. We're going to keep our hips level and either eyes closed or shut. We'll go ahead and engage our Ujjayi breath, constricting the back of the throat, taking inhales and exhales through the nostrils. Bring the hands into heart center. Keep the hands soft, so they don't have to be pressing in as much as they can be very soft and kind of open, just symbolizing that we're open to whatever may come in the practice today. Reaching the arms out and up, the gaze goes up toward the sky. And in our modified forward fold, we're going to reach the hands toward the shins, keeping the chest lifted. Inhale to pull the chest up. This would be our half lift. And as we exhale, bend the knees, bring the fingertips to the floor. Inhale to reach the right leg back, gaze goes forward, and exhale, drop the knee down. Walk up the front thigh, scoot the front leg forward, and exhale in for a nice hip opener. Reach the right arm up into the air on the inhale, and just a slight twist toward the left. Hand comes to the outside, and gaze will shift toward the left. Both hands come up toward the sky on the inhale, and lift that chest nice and strong as we exhale, reaching our chest toward the sky. Inhale to straighten those arms up, and exhale, hands come back down, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, reaching up into our low lunge, keeping the chest again lifted. As we exhale, we step back into our down dog pose. Inhaling into our plank, and knees, chest, and shin toward the floor. Slide the legs back, reaching the chest up into our cobra. And as we exhale, bend the knees, push the hips up and back. Down dog pose, gaze goes toward the belly. Gaze goes to front. Make your way to the front, inhaling into a half lift by sliding the hands up the shins. As we exhale, we bend the knees, let the hands come to the hips. And inhale to reach and raise, come all the way up. Exhaling, hands down to heart center. So you just saw where you can modify sun salutation to fit osteoporosis. Nobody has to know. You don't have to announce it. Just modify yourself. So inhale, reach. Exhale, hands come. Inhale, reach the chest. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, knee comes down. Walk up the front leg and scoot the front toes forward on the inhale. As we exhale, we'll shift, opening into that front hip. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And as you exhale, just come into that slight twist toward the right. Inhale, bring both arms up into the air. And exhale, hands come down. Inhaling up through your low lunge. And exhale back into your down dog pose. Inhaling into a plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Slide the legs back and the chest up on the inhale. Exhale, bend the knees up and back into down dog. Gaze to the belly. The bottom of your exhale, look forward. Make your way to the front of the mat, coming up into a nice half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, fingertips to the floor, chest reaching. And remember, you can always use your thighs. And reach, coming all the way up on the inhale. Exhaling, hands down through heart center. Beautiful job. Let's add on from there. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaches the right leg back. Exhale, down to the knee. Walk the hands up and scoot the toes forward on the inhale. Exhale, coming deeply into that nice stretch. Reach the right arm up on the inhale. Exhale, a little bit of a side twist toward the left. Bring both arms up into the air on the inhale. And as we exhale, left hand comes to thigh, right hand comes down. And as we exhale, we'll twist, pushing and coming to the outside of that front foot, maybe the outside of the back foot, and we come into just a little bit more of a twist. But get this, we're not twisting into the rib cage as much as we are twisting front leg out, chest moving toward the left, and we're keeping the ribs nice and safe. Great job. Inhale, the front foot comes down, back on the back toes, and up through the low lunge. As we step back, we plant the hands into our down dog pose. Inhaling into a plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide the legs back, the chest up. Exhale, bend the knees up and back into our down dog pose. The bottom of that exhale, gaze goes forward. Make our way to the front, coming up into our half lift. Exhale into that modified fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach and raise. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, modified. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg goes back, squaring off. Exhale, down to the knee. Inhale, walks the hands up and the toes forward. Exhale, squeeze in. Reach the left arm up on the inhale. Exhale into our slight modified twist. Inhale, bring the arms out and up. And as we exhale, right hand to right thigh, left hand to the mat. Reach the chest up on the inhale. And as we exhale, open up our foot, bringing the whole torso into the twist and not just working into the ribs. Inhale, foot comes down. Frame the front foot, come up on the back toes. Exhale, step back into your down dog pose. Gaze to belly. Inhaling into plank, and this time we have an option of knees, chest, and chin, or our chaturanga dandasana. Up into our up dog. Exhaling back, down dog pose. The bottom of our down dog, the bottom of our breath. Gaze goes forward. We make our way one step or several, coming into that half lift, really reaching the chest. Exhale, bend the knees into our modified. And reach and raise, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. I'm going to step toward the front of the mat just so you can see just a little bit. Reaching the arms into our standing Tadasana posture. Right arm rises up on the inhale. Exhale, a little bit of a lift and side stretch over toward the right. From this position, take the left hand, clasp onto the wrist. Pull the wrist up toward the sky and really feel a nice deep stretch in the whole side body without crunching into the left side rib. Release, coming up, hands come back down into Tadasana. Beautiful. Other side. Left arm reaches up. Exhale up and side bend over toward the right. Inhale, clasp onto that left wrist, reach away, and exhale, hold, just to get the stretch without any more bending in. Release the hands coming up, and exhale down into our Tadasana. Extend the legs out wide on the mat. Turn the toes in, so you're almost like pigeon-toeing a bit, but we want a really nice, sharp and straight right edge on the outside of the feet. Hold the hands onto the hips. Now, 99.9% of us are hanging back into our hips, and into our heels, excuse me, which works a little bit farther back. But what we want to do is we want to rock the toes a little bit toward the front, where the weight toward the toes. We feel a nice full foot, where we feel all four corners of the feet on the earth, and really have a nice balancing posture here. Keeping the hands onto the hips, I want you to kind of move your elbows to behind you. So the thumb will slide right there on the back of the pelvic bone. We lift the chest up on the inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to softly bend the knees and just fold halfway over, keeping the chest reaching. The gaze is forward, and we breathe. Now keep the hands where they are, straightening the legs now if you're able to, and you're into this nice, beautiful L shape with the hands on the hips and the elbows pulling behind. Pull the belly in and inhale to come and stand all the way up. Turn the front foot out toward the front of the mat. Reach the arms out into this beautiful reach, and now bend into that front knee into our Virabhadrasana 2. Hold and breathe. Gaze is soft. Sinking in, making sure that the knee and the ankle are in alignment or behind, but not over. So we also want to make sure that we're kind of balancing the torso. So we're not shifting too far forward or back, but just doing our best to balance right between the hips. Inhale, and exhale, the forearm comes down, the back arm just reaches up, and we do that light open toward the sky. Nice little tiny bit of a twist here. Inhale to bring the arms up into Virabhadrasana 2. As we exhale, we straighten out that front leg, hand comes to the shin, and we reach up into our Trikonasana pose or into our triangle posture. The gaze can always be straight out or down to the floor if that feels better for you. Inhale, bending into that front knee. Fingertips are reaching. And as you exhale, straighten that front leg. Turn all 10 toes toward the front of the mat again. And now we're just simply going to take that opposite leg and point it out, setting up for Virabhadrasana 2 on the opposite side. Gaze comes in and gazes over those front fingers. The arms are very powerful and strong. Remember to get your nice setup in your Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, exhale, forearm comes down, right arm goes up in the air, left arm up into the air, we reach, side angle modification. Inhale, coming back up through Warrior 2. Exhale, straighten the front leg, out and over into our triangle pose. Gaze is up. Bend that front knee, come up through our Virabhadrasana 2. And as we exhale, straighten the legs, all 10 toes come toward the front. Interlace the fingers on the inhale. Inhale, lift the chest up. Keep the chest lift. As you exhale, bend and reaching the chest forward. So we did something similar by placing our hands on our hips last time. The gaze is still reaching. Make sure you're not hanging all your weight in your heels. Rock a little toward the front toes and feel how the hips are able to sink even deeper. Keep the arms where they are. Inhale, straighten, coming into a standing pose. Release the hands and heel toe the feet back in to hip width apart. Keep all of the weight into the right leg. Suck the belly in tightly and lean and shift the weight into the right. Place the hands onto the hips. Take the left leg and wrap it around. Your toes can be right on the outside of that standing leg, or if you are able to, pull the belly in even more, maybe lifting that foot off of the floor. But go ahead and place it down and then bend the knees. So we have some options. So if that bending with your foot up is too difficult, just go ahead and modify until we get it. So when we bend into this standing leg knee now, we have a nice, beautiful balancing posture. So this can be a time we can keep our toes on the floor, or we can lift them or wrap them around. Pull the belly in, bring the hands into heart center, and just hold here. Finding balance, pull the belly in tightly. And inhale to come up and out. We'll right away go to the opposite side. So the hands can come back to the hips, shifting all of the weight into the left standing leg. Right leg can come around, just testing your balance here. With a nice straight standing leg, let's test it here. That's a little bit easier than sometimes we get in the bent position. So let me lifting up, and maybe we feel pretty good about it. Either way, put your toes back down, bend that standing leg. Maybe we'll try from a bent position after a while. So right now, let's lift those toes up just to see and maybe wrap around. You can bring the hands into heart center, pull that belly in tightly to keep a nice balanced posture, and breathe. Reach that standing leg straight, unbind yourself, and come back into our Tadasana pose. Step toward the top of the mat. Feet are about hip width apart. Reach the arms out and up toward the sky. Exhale, comes our modified forward fold. Inhale, reaching that chest. Exhale, drop the hips, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, step that right leg back into that nice low lunge. Plant the hands, step back into a plank. Inhale in our plank pose. Exhale, shift forward and do a slow lower all the way to the floor. Reach the hands on the outside of your mat up on the fingertips. And push the tops of the feet into the earth. Lift the chest up, inhaling here, and breathe. Working into fingertips and strength of hands and wrists. The bum is not rigid or tight, but as relaxed as possible with the chest lifted. Release that chest back down to the floor. Make a little pillow by stacking the hands, and the forehead can come down. A few rounds of breath here. Next, inhale, unpad that forehead. Place the forehead on the floor. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Keep the tops of the feet pressing into the earth. Inhale to pull the knuckles away and lift the chest into our cobra, into our pose here. Chest is reaching to our locust modification. A few more breaths. And release down to the floor. Make that little pillow. Forehead comes back down. Hold here for a few rounds of breath before we move on to the next level of our locust posture. Release the hands, drop the forehead to the floor. Interlace the fingers behind the back again. This time we're going to lift legs and chest and arms up. So we'll inhale to pull the knuckles away, lifting the chest, maybe lifting the feet up as well. Full locust pose. Breathe. Release the feet back down to the earth. Place the hands underneath the chest. Bend the knees. Push up and back into a mild child's pose. So keep up on the back toes and let the hips shift back and drop the forearms down to the earth. That way we can reach the chest forward on the inhale and yet still be in a resting posture. Hold here for a few rounds of breath. Inhale to come up onto all fours. Walk your hands out, just a hand's width or so apart, up away from you, and then lift the hips up and back into our down dog. the bottom of our down dog. Our right leg rises up to the sky on the inhale. Gaze goes forward, and we step that right leg between the hands, one step or several. Reach the chest forward on the inhale. As we exhale, we're going to plant our left hand down. Right hand comes to the inner thigh. This is similar to what we did on our knee earlier. So we're going to open up our chest by rolling on the outside of the front foot, and if possible, rolling on the outside of the back foot, and really come into a nice open chest posture without doing too much into the rib cage. Breathe. Inhale, both feet are get back into alignment. Hand comes down. And bring the right hand to the thigh. Reach the left arm up into the air. So we're in a high crescent lunge with one arm reaching. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, we're going to open up Warrior Two pose. Inhale. As we exhale, we'll interlace our fingers behind our back. Inhale to reach our chest up. And as we exhale, reach the arms out and up back into our Warrior Two. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the front leg, out and over, reaching up into our triangle pose. Bend the front knee, coming back up, inhaling into Warrior Two. And as we exhale, we'll windmill our hands around, framing that front foot, and we'll step back into our down dog pose. Left leg rises on the inhale. Exhale, step between the hands. Right hand stays down. Left hand comes to the inner thigh. And as we open, we twist on the outside of both feet and come into this beautiful, deep chest opener with the dragon twist without tweaking into the rib cage. Gaze is up. Lift the hips. Mine were dropping just a little bit. Inhale, frame that front foot coming back. And as we exhale, I want you to walk up that front leg and reach the right arm up into the air on the inhale. Inhale here. As we exhale, open up, setting up for our Warrior Two pose. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale, forearm comes down, back arm reaches up. Inhaling up. Exhale, straighten that front leg, come out and over into our triangle pose. The chest is up. Bend into that front knee on the inhale. And as we exhale, windmill around. Step back into down dog. Breathe. Inhale into our plank. Slow lower down to the floor. Forehead comes to the floor. Hands stay underneath the rib cage. Let the tops of the feet rest into the floor. Lift the feet up from the floor and then pull the toes away from you, getting a lot of good length and extension into the spine. Keep the legs where they are. Push the hands in and come up into this modified locust version. Chest is reaching. Legs are flying. Breathe. Drop the toes and the chest. Forehead comes to the floor. Inhaling here. Exhale. Everything comes up at once this time. Same posture. Hold and breathe. Next, inhale, let the feet come down, bend the knees, come up on the back toes, drop to the forearms and back into that modified child's pose with the chest reaching. Breathe. Inhale to come up. Exhale, lift the hips up. And back into down dog pose. Right leg rises on the inhale. As we exhale, we're just going to bring that foot halfway on the mat. Walk the hands back. Let the hands come up the shins. Square off the hips and reach the chest forward. This is a version of a pyramid pose. Really reaching the chest, inhaling here and exhaling here, retracting those shoulder blades down the back. Hold and breathe. Keep the belly pulled in. Next inhale, bend that front knee, the hands come to the front of the mat, and that right foot steps back into down dog, and we'll try that on the other side. Inhale, reaching that left leg up. Exhale, halfway. Straighten that front leg, walk those hands back. Bring the hands to the shins, square off the hips, reach the chest on the inhale, and exhale, pulling the shoulder blades down the back. So we hold and breathe here. Next, inhale, bend that front knee. Let those hands come to the front. And as you exhale, step back into down dog. The bottom of your exhale, gaze goes forward. Make your way to the front. Half lift up into the inhale. Exhale, bend those knees, reaching that chest. So this is our modified forward fold, remember. Inhale to reach and raise. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Release into our tall mountain pose. Come back to the center of the mat, facing, and we'll work on that balancing posture again. Maybe we've engaged our core a little bit. Maybe we can go a little bit deeper. Maybe not. We don't worry about it in yoga, right? It's not rocket science. It's something we do for our health of our body, for the stress of our mind, and for balance in life. So place all of the weight onto that right leg, and then go ahead and bend the knee this time. Let's try it from a bent knee position. Keep the hands on the hips to begin. Lift up that left leg and cross it over. And now remember, you can always put the toes on the floor if you feel imbalanced in any way, or you can try to lift the toes up or wrap around, whatever feels better for you. Every day is going to be different with balance. Once we get in this pose, we're going to sink a little bit deeper in. Breathe. Maybe playing with those toes a little bit if you're on the floor. Maybe dropping them down, maybe wrapping around a little bit more, pulling the belly in for security. So you see me wibble and wobble, just enjoy the wibbles and wobbles. It's part of it. Inhale to straighten and unbind. Right away we'll go to the other side. Sometimes it's easier, I think. Hands on hips to give us some balance. We'll go ahead and put all the weight on that left leg and bend in. And the right leg goes, the leg goes around. And remember, you can always keep the toes on the floor, or you can lift them up. Once this gets fairly comfortable, you can deepen into your squat and wrap around perhaps, bringing the hands into heart center, pulling the belly in. Breathe. Release, unbinding yourself, coming up. We're going to widen our stance again like we did earlier. A nice wide stance, almost pigeon toeing. Reaching the arms out into the air on the inhale. And this time as we exhale, we're going to interlace the fingers, lift the chest, and fold, keeping the chest lifted. We did do this one earlier, but now we're going to add a little bit of flavor into this posture. So from this pose, we're going to pull the belly in deeply, release the hands, bring them to reach out in front into this half folded position. Rock a little bit toward the front toes. We're really getting length and extension. If you need to bend the knees here for stability, feel free to do that, and also for safety of back. And from here, bring the hands toward the hips, bend those knees, and come up into a standing pose. How'd you do? You did awesome. This left foot is going to face the front of the mat. Reach the arms out into the inhale. Exhale into our nice Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale. Exhale, forearm comes down, back arm reaches up. Gaze goes up toward the sky. Inhale, coming up through Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Modified triangle pose. Reach and raise. Inhale, bend that front knee, coming back into this nice warrior two. And as you exhale, straighten the leg, all 10 toes turn, and we'll go straight away to the opposite side. Inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Gaze goes over the front fingers. Inhaling here, exhale, forearm down, back arm up. Open the chest. Inhaling up, exhale, straighten the front leg, out and over, triangle pose, reach the chest. Bend the knee, coming up into our Virabhadrasana, gaze is over. Exhale, straighten all these toes, clasp the hands behind the back. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, halfway. Pull the belly in, gaze is down or slightly in front. Inhaling here, exhaling here. Release the hands, inhaling, reaching them forward, this nice pull of the belly, breathe it in. And as we exhale, bring the fingertips to the floor, even if you have to bend your knees. Gaze is forward, inhale. Exhale, walk toward the front of the mat. Inhale, step up, half lift. Exhale, bend those knees into that modified fold. And then reverse swan dive, reach and raise. Coming all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Release into our Tadasana posture. Beautiful job. We're going to make our way to the floor by reaching our arms up into the air on the inhale, the last modification of this of the sun salutation. Exhale, fold, knees, hands come to the knees. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold, keeping the chest extended. Send one knee back, keep up on the back toes. The other knee back, up on the back toes. Pushing back into modified child's pose, letting the forearms come down. Breathe. Walk your hands back towards your knees and come to sit on your bums. Extend the legs out in front of you. Feet flex. Get your butt flesh out of the way. Pick it up, move it. Reach those arms up on the inhale. We'll do some of these little modified twists. So as we exhale, left hand comes to the outside, right arm reaches, and we turn the chest slightly toward the right. Keep that right arm extended. Turn the chest back on the inhale. Exhale, just a little bit of a side bend toward left. Left arm comes up on the inhale. As we exhale, we reach the fingertips up and forward, bringing them to the floor. Lift the chest up on the inhale. As you exhale, you shift the chest over and just keep a bit of a fold here without rounding excessively into the upper shoulders. Inhale, we come to sit. Exhale, air out of the mouth. Reach those arms up on the inhale. And as we exhale, right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. And inhale to lift. Exhale a little bit toward the left into the twist. Inhale, back center. Reach the other arm up. Exhale up and fold back over. Reach the chest forward on the inhale. Exhale, shift forward and fold a little deeper, keeping nice straight back. Come back up on the inhale. Bring the right leg in, sole the foot to the floor. Pose of nobility. Sit up nice and tall. Hold on to the shin with the right hand. Reach the left arm up on the inhale. And as we exhale, we do that same twist that we just did. Inhaling back. As we exhale, reach the other one up. And keep the arms up as you extend the leg out. Other leg comes in. Inhale. Exhale. Interlace the fingers on the front. Reach the chest up on the inhale. Exhale. Keep the left shin on. Reach the right arm up and come into that modified twist. Inhale, coming center. Reach that arm up toward the sky. And as you exhale, straighten the legs, reaching. Inhale here. Exhale, lift, coming forward. Fingertips to the floor. Inhale, reach the chest up. Exhale, shift over and fold. Walk the hands up, coming into a nice seated position, and come into an easy cross of the legs. From this nice, easy cross of the legs, we let our wrists or our inner arms just rest onto the knees. Get the spine up nice and tall here. Roll the shoulders down the back. Breathe. Next inhale, reach the right arm up into the air. As we exhale, left hand comes to the outside and we do a little bit of a side bend toward the left. Arms come out into a T on the inhale. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, arms into a T. And as we exhale, this time we're going to shift, crossing the arms, placing opposite hands on the knees. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, very, very slight straight, bend forward as we keep the spine very straight. Let the chin just guide a little bit toward the chest, but we are really getting the spine nice and long here. Release, coming up on the inhale, and just cross, reverse cross the outer, so the outer foot will change the cross of the legs. Nice seated position. We come back into this tall spine. Let's do all that on this side. So we'll start by reaching the left arm up into the air on the inhale. As we exhale, hand comes down. We do that little side bend over toward the right. Bring the arms out on T in the inhale. Exhale, opposite side. These little side bends are tiny. Inhale to come up, arms into a T, and opposite cross this time over, landing on the knees. Reach the chest up on the inhale. Exhale, keeping the chest lifted. We do a little bit of a forward fold. So we're stretching out our shoulders, but keeping a nice lift here. Gaze is forward. Release the hands, coming up, and transfer into a nice reclined position on the floor. So hold on to one knee or the other, rolling back. Bring the knees in toward the chest and just rock a little from side to side. Still got a couple of things to do before we finish our class for osteo. Drop the soles of the feet to the floor. Get the feet fairly close to the bum line. Spread those toes, placing them deeply into the earth. Bring the arms to rest, palms down beside the hips. Inhale to lift the hips up and roll those shoulders underneath the back. So this is our bridge pose here. Now we have an option. Once we get here, I have found that students tend to kind of drop their hips here. So what we want to do is when we get in this position, the feet lifting the hips up. Beautiful. Now I do want to emphasize that we don't want to put weight or pressure on the neck. So make sure the back of your head is connecting in, the shoulders are really rolled under. We can keep our arms where they are. We can interlace the fingers and clasp the hands to lift the chest, roll them up a little bit more, chest lifting a little bit higher. So we hold here in our bridge pose, a couple of rounds of breath here. Trying to keep the lift of the hips. Challenging posture here. Inhale, reach the left leg up into the air if it's doable for you. And as you exhale, cross the ankle over the thigh. Lift the hips back up, inhaling. Exhale, hold. Inhale to reach that left leg back up. Exhale, foot come down. Let's go with the other side. So right away we'll reach the right leg up on the inhale, really press in the tricep muscles. Exhale, bend, cross, open, and lift on the inhale. Exhale, hold. Inhale to reach that leg up. Exhale, bend the knee and undo the arms behind you. Roll down. Let the soles of the feet come together in Baddha Konasana. Softly breathe. Notice our breath, the work that we've done. Breathe in and out. release, turn to natural breath. Bring those knees back into the chest, holding on to the shins and squeezing in, really feeling the tailbone lifting. The round is not in the upper back, but it's in the lower back to stretch out any kind of undue tensions here. Release, roll to one side or the other. Come up into an easy seated position on our mats. So I'm going to take that modified hero's pose that I like so much and get our spines very tall and straight here. Roll the shoulders down the back, close the eyes, bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, our prayer posture. Dip our chin in toward our chest, giving some gratitude for our bodies, for the practice, maybe for the ability to be able to do yoga even though we might have osteoporosis, and also being grateful that maybe we picked up a couple of ways that we can go to a regular class and just modify the postures ourselves. With our eyes closed, our thumbs will touch our forehead and we ask for peace. Our thumbs touch lips, peace. Thumbs touch back into heart center, peace. So thank you for joining me. Again, this is Sacred Space Yoga with Carol Ann. I'm Carol Ann. I bow to you, you bow to me, and together we say Namaste.